Okay, so we are finally back. It's good to be back on the focus. Spent a lot of time learning other things. You've seen this if you've been watching the channel, a while. This is what Focused Hands is. It's not just this, it's a lot of different things, but we're back on the focus. And today's episode is kind of special because the same problem that I've had with this car has popped back up. And it is that P0171. How am I going to solve this? I've been pondering this the last couple of days and how I'm going to solve this. As you can see, I have some O-rings right here. When I looked up the P0171, it gives you the same thing. Oh, you need to change out your fuel pump. Well, I've done that. I got the OEM fuel pump. You need to change out your fuel filter. Yeah, I've done that. Change that out when I change the pump. Okay. Maybe you got a vacuum leak. I've checked every vacuum on this car or vacuum line on this car that I know of, if you will, and I don't see a leak in the line. So I'm going to rule that out. I know the car has compression. I know it has spark because I can start the car, literally start it and it runs. No issue. Next thing I'm going to check is maybe I'm getting air past my fuel injectors. You may say, oh, well, why don't you hook up a fuel pressure regulator because maybe it's not getting enough pressure. This car doesn't have that. And the way you check the fuel pressure for the car is simply to remove the nozzle here. And if it sprays, you got it. If it doesn't spray, you don't have fuel pressure. There's something going on with the pump. It's that simple. So one, we're going to do that. I need to get gloves for my hands here, but we're going to do that. We're going to remove that nozzle with a rag. Put a rag over it so it doesn't spray in my eyes kind of thing. And we're going to see if it sprays gas out. So that'll be checked. All right, we have fuel pressure. That rules that out automatically. Okay, so let me get that all set up and let me grab my tripod and let's get to work. Stay focused. All right, so first and foremost, I need to come in here and show y'all what I'm seeing on here. I need to run this scanner. I have, a little OBD2 scanner. I need to run this. It's right here. I think it goes this way. Can't see it. There we go. Okay, and then I need to turn on the car to accessory, which it does. You can hear that fuel pump pop off, which is great. That means I'm getting power to the fuel pump. I'm going to have to stop the video here so I can get over to the software that I need. Let me go ahead and mute that. There we go. Give me 1 second. Let's choose an ECU. Okay, so I'm connected to the vehicle, and as you can see, let's let it load here. We got one trouble code. I've had 12 warm-ups since then. I have a system to lean. This is the P0171 code. And all these other codes I literally don't have, I'm not going to say literally, I don't have any of the wiring for the doors in because I'm getting ready to paint the car. But that P0171 code keeps popping up. I'm going to go ahead and clear that code for now. Go ahead and clear that. Okay. Except for, it got rid of all my other trouble codes. It's funny. I'm gonna go ahead and clear that, and I'm gonna go change out take apart the fuel injectors, that housing, and change out the O-rings, and then we're gonna test this again. So I rigged up a light here so that you can see it's a little dark in the garage, but this should do just nicely. And let me get a rag over here. And what I want to do is zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. Right there. Gonna come on this side. I want to be where you can see me. You can see what I'm doing. There we go. Sit y'all there. What I'm going to do is take off this hose here. Some side of the way. I'm going to take this hose off. I'm going to see if it's going to spray fluid. I want to get this rag underneath it down here so I don't get, gas all the way down here causing issues. And then obviously you want to wear gloves so you don't get gas all over your hands. But I also want to put it on top of it because I don't want gas spraying me in the face. Okay, you gotta push up on it. It's like a little clip. You gotta push that in and then you pull out. Weak fingers here. There we go. Come on, baby. Hardly had anything, but I had gas coming out of there. Well, it definitely had gas coming out. It didn't spray out, which is something to be warned. I haven't started the car since yesterday, so that would have gone down. That pressure would have gone down. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, next, what we're going to do is take off our fuel pressure regulator. Let's move you back a little bit. I'm going to disconnect this fuel pressure regulator here, just like so. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors for the fuel injectors. So we're going to disconnect all 4 of those. 2, 3, 4. Then there's 2 bolts. I think these are size 10. We need to take those off and then pull everything out as an assembly. Stay focused. Goes without saying, but don't forget to disconnect the battery as you are dealing with fuel, and a spark can send you home to Jesus a little earlier than expected. All right, so I'm gonna reach down in there, gonna crack that one, and let's crack that one. Take these bolts all the way out, set them to the side. Do not drop them in the engine. I cannot tell you how bad of a day that is, but I've seen it happen before. I've heard of it happening before too. Don't want that on for me, you know? All right, take that one out, set it up there. Take this not set up there. This is what they look like. All right, set that up there. Okay, so with your pressure regulator sensor unplugged and your 4 fuel injector plugs unplugged, you should just be able to pop it off like that. We're gonna set it off to the side. You don't have to remove the hose. You can. You can also take off the fuel pressure regulator sensor. You could do that. Be careful there, because there's still gas in here, in the rail line. As you can see there's still gas in there, so be careful of that. And you have these two little washer here, aluminum washers. You want to make sure these go back on. You don't have this on the 2.5 engine, which is interesting. You can put it on the 2.5 engine though. Okay, so simply we're going to replace all of these O-rings. So let me get those off and I'll show you. All right, got one of them off already. Getting ready to put the new one back over it. Just got to roll it on, roll it over. But these gloves are not doing me any service. Just like that. Then I'll work on the remaining 3. Cut you back on. All right, so I got the other 3 off and I'm checking the rubber. I mean, these are very, very hard. So I could think more than likely some air was leaking past these rubber O-rings because they are really, really hard. And I lost light to my extended flashlight, which is just great. I need to charge it, I guess. But there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other O-rings, the other 3 O-rings on, and we'll continue, start the car up, see what happens. Let it run, see if the coat comes back up. If not, then we're great. If it does, and I pull the hose again, and I'm not getting any kind of pressure behind it, then we need to go back to the fuel filter, not the fuel filter, the fuel pump, and see what's going on. All right, so that's now done. I got all of them on there. I'm gonna push everything back down. Let me turn y'all a little bit, get a little better sight here. Pull this rag out, get it out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna take my injectors, make sure your caps are on them, and make sure your O-rings are on them. You know, caps and O-rings are all here. All right, we're gonna set this back down. Your plugs should line up. There shouldn't be any trickery here for your injectors. You can't even put these on wrong. If you haven't messed with your wire loom, that is. Okay, you want to give them a little push down. They should click and snap into place. They won't snap, but you'll feel them like insert themselves, is what I'm trying to say. Down in there. Okay, so now take our bolts, get them started on both. Then we'll just walk them down. You don't have to get them Hercules tight, but you want them snug. That is, this is aluminum housing we're talking about. You don't want to strip anything out or break anything. That'll be just terrible for your focus. The object is to keep your car on the road, not off, right? Okay, so with that, you want to put your plugs back on. They should click. That satisfying click that you hear there, should get that. Love it. One more. Beautiful. Okay, and then your fuel pressure regulator. Beautiful. Feel, you know, visually observe your line. That all feels good, looks great. Don't forget to plug in your fuel rail line. That should click into place like so. And as they say, we are off to the races. Okay, so everything visually, you can take that out visually. We're all put back, tightened down, and we're gonna go start the car up. Stay focused. All right, let's go crank it up. I'm gonna put in my OBD2 scanner as well. Let's see what's going on here. Fumbling 40. Oh, I got it the wrong way. There we go. That's installed. All right, let's crank this bad boy on. Make sure I'm in neutral. I'm in neutral. Foot on the brake. There you go. I'm gonna let it run for a bit. I need to go in the car and then hook back up to the OBD2 scanner to see if, to see what I'm looking at. What am I dealing with? Is the check engine code gonna come back on? The check engine light gonna come back on? That's what I'm looking for. Let's get back in the car. To bring y'all in for a little look at the live data. Looking at the short trim fuel bank 1 and the long trim fuel bank 1. Let me step on the gas a little bit. I think as I step on the gas, the short trim should go lower, if I remember correctly. I'll need to check that on the books, but that seems a little high. It seems a little high to me. Yeah, so the Focus is a closed loop system. I might need to take a look at that oxygen sensor, but I changed that I think a while back too. So it's one of those videos, you know, it's not all flashy and bangy. You know, this is just real, you know, nose in the crack of a book type work. It's, you know, no bells and whistles, I'm trying to say. Not all flashy. It doesn't have to be all the time. It's not like the Focus arm stuff that I'm doing. But I mean, I can't wait to get this thing back officially on the road. Painted, done, I'm driving it. Like, I am going to be so excited to get this thing back on the road. I know you all are too. You all are probably more excited than I am to get this thing back on the road. There's one more Focus saved. All right, so let me check the map. The map looks decent for now. I'm gonna let it come up to temp and see what's what. I'm gonna have to get some gas for this thing too. Go to the store, get 2 gallons of gas at least. So my my short trim should be short now. My long trim should be up more, and my short trim should be short if I remember correctly. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about that. My RPMs are starting to come down a bit. That's good. Engine coolant, it's working its way up. So far, everything looks nominal, you know? I'm just gonna have to let it run. I'm just gonna be quiet for a bit, and we'll just sit here and watch it. Now, I was thinking I might need to look at my map sensor again. Maybe it needs to be cleaned. Well, here's something. It's trying to adjust to something. Okay, so you saw that last bit. That, what is it, short trim and long trim? If you saw those numbers, my short trim was right at around like 4.5, and if I remember correctly, the long trim was 17.1 and 16.9. It kind of held right there. So that's interesting because now it means that I'm getting too much fuel in the system. So this leads me down another track. I need to look at, so I mean, well, yeah, one, it could have been the first part. I was getting air through my fuel injectors, causing that P0171 code. Now the thing is to go and look at the, gotta turn on my flash here. I don't know if I can, let's see if I can do it. The camera going. All right, so now it's going to be to come back here to the back. As you can see down in there, right there, is my O2 sensor, bank 1. So I'm going to, I have another one in here somewhere, I believe. No. I'm going to grab another O2 sensor. I'm going to install it, and I'm going to see what the levels are. Before I go out and do that, I'm going to come back over here to my MAF sensor. I'm going to get some MAF sensor cleaner, spray that, and then check the levels again to see if my short-term, long-term, and my MAF sensory numbers are changing. If not, then I'm going to work back to my O2 sensor, because that closed loop O2 sensor is basically telling the PCU or PCM how much fuel in the air, or how much fuel to put in the mixture with the air mixture. So something's going on with there. I was too lean, now I'm too rich. So this is pretty interesting. Stay focused. All right, so we're gonna check this line here to see if, since I ran the car, I should have fuel pressure. So I actually didn't start this car for 2 days. So the last time I started it, I think was on Thursday. I normally try to start it once a week, but I need to do it, at least twice a week to keep the battery charged. Nothing. Not getting any pressure. Do one more thing. I'm going to leave this unhooked. And I want to see. I'm going to start the car, let it prime, and see if I get fuel coming out of that line. Bring it up here. See if I get fuel spraying out of this line. Look at that. All right, since we know the car's getting fuel, I need to come down here and check this thing here. Make sure this little indent is in. I clicked it. Make sure this is working. Click that. And I'm going to put the keys in the ignition again. Go over here so I can reach it. Ugh. Let's see. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna check the pump one more time. Let's get y'all situated and down here. All right. Go ahead and zoom in here. Bring back this little rag here. Rag down there. Let's see if it's gonna spray everywhere. Yep, it sprayed. So we definitely got enough fuel pressure. Definitely got enough fuel pressure. Maybe clicking that little thing on that side did it. Let me take these off. Zoom y'all out. So maybe clicking that thing again over there that you heard me click. I forget what they call that thing. You can let me know down in the comment section, but I'll look at some point later, and I would have found out what it is. Tomorrow, I'm going to clean the map sensor, the MAF sensor. I'm going to clean that. I'm going to go get some MAF air cleaner because I don't have any. We'll clean that real good and then do the retest to see what we got, knowing that we've clicked that thing over there, whatever, forget what they called that thing. It could be emergency shut-off valve for the fuel, something. I forget what they call it. So we'll do that. And then since I know we're getting fuel from the fuel pump, we will look at, if it doesn't work, we'll look at the fuel filter one last time. But I know that fuel filter is new. And then we will look at the oxygen sensor being back on the board since we've found this newfound information. All right, so I'll catch y'all in the morning. Map cleaner, map cleaner. Air intake cleaner. Thought about an air intake cleaner. No, I need one for just like the MAF sensor. Oh, they're out. They're supposed to be like right there. Why is that 12? Believe it or not, it is the next day. So, as you saw, I went over to High Daggum AutoZone, and then I went to O'Reilly's because this stuff is expensive. Made a stop by Home Depot as well because I had to get a little bit here for this because I'm putting on a PDQ 15. That's a pretty damn quick 15. For the lower bill, I'm thinking about adding it to all my lowers going forward. We'll see if I can actually use it. We'll see if I can actually cut, sorry, you know, but this is just something extra. We'll see if I can actually cut this in. I should be able to do it. It shouldn't be an issue to cut that in. We're going to test that theory out today once I finish this issue over here on the Focus. All right, so today's Focus is to clean. I'm going to remove the MAF sensor. There's like a little, I don't know if you can see that, but the light just doesn't help. Got to click that red tab out, and then you should be able to press on it. Let me get both my fingers on it. Pull it out. Right hand, just not the same strength as that left. There we go. Pull that out, and then there are 2 bolts on that 1 and 2 down there that we'll have to get out. I can show you once I get it out. Stay focused. Trying to remember what the size of these are. Looks like they are T20s. Yours might be different than mine, FYI. And shout out to this DJI microphone because it definitely makes a difference on the sound quality, and I know you all appreciate that. If you don't, then that's crazy, but I know y'all appreciate it. That sound quality. My voice doesn't carry very far, but when it does, you hear it. All right, let's reach down in here. Got my Torx bit here, T20, for my MAF sensor. Yours, like I said, could be different. I actually need a new wrench, 1/4-inch wrench. Mine's pretty old. Taking quite the beating over the years. Technically, you really don't need to disconnect the battery for this. Some people do, but it's really not necessary. We'll put that screw way over there. Just don't touch any of the positive and negative battery terminals or the starter, and you should be okay. Should be able to unscrew this by hand now, yeah? Yep. Okay. That's out. Place that over there. Wow. Working on screw. Found this way inside of that, which is my favorite thing. But now I have to get that out. Keep those fingers. Focused hands, man. Focused hands. Okay. So now with that mishap out of the way, let's go back over to where we're supposed to be. Pull out that MAF sensor. When you pull it out, you want to orient the orientation. You want to put it back the exact same way that you took it out. Obviously, because it won't read if you don't. And that means that this thing is dirty. That the sensor should be facing, you probably can't see that. The sensor should be facing downward like this. This part should be facing downward. So when we go to put it in, it should not be put in like this where the sensor is facing upward. We want it like this. You'd be surprised on how many people make that mistake too. So, all right, let me go clean this. I'll be right back. Stay focused. We're back. So I've cleaned it out. Sensor, remember this faces downward, or the opening faces downward. I'm going to slide it back in. Now very carefully, let's get it all, smooth that out of the way. Lined up and pushed into place. There we go. Get the bottom one in first. Harder to see. Then we'll get the top one in. Okay, here's my tool. Not Hercules type, remember that. Dealing with plastics. You definitely don't want any air leaks leaking past the MAP sensor. So you want it tight, but not too tight. Okay, so now we will click back in the MAP sensor. You probably can't see this, but just trust me on that. It doesn't click, but make sure you click that red tab down. Okay, so we have cleaned the MAP sensor, the MAF sensor. We are going to go back to the car, put on the OBD2 scanner, and I'm gonna put some gas in it. I've got some gas, 2 gallons of gas, and then we will look and see what the numbers are gonna show. Oh no, I'm not gonna get gas all over my fingers. Turn this sideways too. We want most of the money going in the tank. There's a little bit left in here, and that's okay. But gotta get your money's worth, you know? Set that up there out of the way. That was nice and toasty. All right, so now with that done, a little bit more gas. I'm going to come down here. Come down here to this OBD2 scanner, the location. Plug that in. Turn it on, listen for the pump. All right, here at the pump. That's good to know. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the OBD2 stuff switched over, so stay tuned. All right, so we're locked in. Let's see. Yes, I want to proceed. Oh, I thought we were locked in. Excuse me. Yes, okay. So let it load up. I've had one warm up since then, and that check engine light is back on. System still showing 2 lean. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to clear that one more time. Boom. Clear that all out. And then we're going to go over to live data. Live data shouldn't show anything because we're not doing anything. Start the car. Okay, so I'm looking at, look at that map airflow rate. Isn't that crazy? Where are all my parameters at? Yeah, we get it. Come on. Yes, connect the vehicle. Fuel system. Engine RPM. And I want flow. Oxygen 1, oxygen 2. If I have that. All right, let's crank it up again. Look at that. Engine RPMs going up to nearly 1500. Interesting. Looking at these oxygen sensor and its, short fuel trim. We're looking at those. I'm trying to see. Alternator's good, 14.4. So short trims here in minus, which is pretty good. Now, but that long trim seems to be an issue, I think. I need to go pull out the books here again. My math flow seems to be okay. Got a quarter tank of gas now. Got a quarter tank of gas. This is pretty interesting here. What flow rate should the Focus be? What is the optimal flow rate for the Focus? It's a question I have. And I need to check the voltages for the oxygen sensors to make sure they're good. Interesting enough, the catalyst is cooling off. Catalytic converter is cooling off. So these two seem to be reading together, 0.2, 0, -8, 8. So those two seem to be reading. I'm just gonna let it sit for a while. See if anything happens. Stay focused. Right, so my short trim levels are starting to creep up quite a bit now. It looks like let me look at that, it's at 6.3%, and that long trim is at 27.3%. That's quite a bit of a jump, if you ask me, since the last time we were looking at this. Come back and look at that oxygen sensor. I'm gonna go ahead and get that oxygen sensor bank 1 on order, because maybe we have an issue with that oxygen sensor. Because I know we're getting fuel pressure, so that's not a problem. I changed those O-rings on the injectors. I don't think that's an issue. The car's running, so I know we're getting spark. I know we're getting compression. I don't suspect a vacuum leak. Maybe, just maybe, it could be that O2 sensor or oxygen sensor, which is still O2, and maybe, a fuse. Gotta start checking fuses as well. But my inkling leads me down, just based off the data, is leading me down the road of the oxygen sensor bank 1. Because the readings are kind of interesting. For tip 2, it was at like 900 something, almost 1,000. Now it's at 742. And it could be right on tip, but I need to pull the Haynes manual to see what the values are supposed to be. What's normal for the Focus. Interestingly enough, I don't have a check engine light as of yet. It's been running for about 15 to 20 minutes. That's some heavy correction that it's doing. Engine RPMs are not reading correctly. It disconnected, I think. So the map is supposed to go up, it looks like, as I increase pressure on the throttle or on the gas pedal. It's supposed to go up. Okay, so that seems to be working correctly. And I think that the fuel trim short is supposed to go opposite of the long trim. Let me see. Yeah, because fuel trim short adjusts to short-term increases in demand, if you will. So that's supposed to offset. So, okay, man, and I see my catalyst went up, which is interesting. That makes sense. That makes sense. Doesn't look like a bad fuel filter. I mean, a fuel tank or a fuel pump, because I mean the car would be running sluggish. I know what it looks like because I replaced it before. I got in the car one day and it just wouldn't start, or it just ran super rough. And this one can crank it right up. As you saw yesterday, I was able to take the hose off and it just starts to spray fuel. So it let me know that it has fuel pressure. So that's not the issue. I did have a pretty low tank of gas, so that I know will affect the tank's ability to apply pressure. But this 10.9% is interesting on this short trim. Like, I wonder what's going on. It has something to do, I'm thinking, with this oxygen sensor. Let me go over here and check if I'm getting a check engine light at all. Yeah, so that 2 lean is still back. So I'm going to see all these things here. It shows what it could be. I'm going to check the oxygen sensor. I'm going to get a new oxygen sensor and see if that doesn't change this whole outcome. Because the fuel and fuel filter, the fuel pump and fuel filter have been done. I'm going over this again and again, circling back and forth here. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna have to think about, well, first find the O2 sensor, make sure they still have it in stock, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's get out of here. Let me go back to OBD2 scanner. So let's think about this in the next run here. It's gonna be a couple of days before the O2 sensor gets here. This is, I mean, it does get annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been chasing this thing for a while. I thought that I replaced the O2 sensor. I cannot remember if I did or not. And it could have been on the other Focus that I replaced the O2 sensor on. Could have been. But need I digress. I'm going to go and get another O2 sensor, bank 1. And we're going to see if that changes any of the dynamics in our OBD2 scanner. So I'm down but not out in this episode. I'll see you back here a couple days. We'll continue this. If you stuck out this long on the video, I really appreciate it. You know, the Focus videos tend not to do as well as the Focus arm stuff, but you can help change that if you stuck out this long to help these Focus videos kind of beef up their the view count and, you know, likes. If you got comments, leave comments. I'm not really stumped. I'm just a little annoyed right now, but I do have some data to go off of. Like I said, I need to go check the Haynes manual to see what the correct values for short-term and long-term trim levels supposed to be, MAF values, what it's supposed to be, and what the O2 sensor is supposed to be reading, because I don't have that knowledge preview in my mind right now. I do have the manual, so I'm gonna go do some reading and I'll catch you back here. Hate to have to do a part 2 for this, but this video is already really long. Stay focused.